places in your heart. I will remind you who you are. And when you shine just like a star, I'll let you go. And I'll be waiting to catch you when you fall, to see you through it all. Don't turn your face.
Good evening, everyone. To those who are here in person at the center and those who are on Zoom. For tonight's lectures, we have the topic is the paradox of power. And tonight we're going to find out what kind of power it is that Sister Rona will be talking about. It is physical power or spiritual power that we all need to go through in this disorganized world and deal with others. And at the same time, we can share that power with others. So I would like to mention a few reminders and things that are happening here in person at the center is the Sanctuary of Peace, which we are open for everyone who wants to come and sit in meditation in silence from Monday through Thursday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. During that time, we offer that the space for everyone, and we will play nice music and a few commentary meditation. And from Monday through Friday, that is online, we have Power Boost. It's a lunchtime meditation. We first start with a small talk, and then we sit in silence for 5 to 10 minutes. And we're starting next week on Monday 11 through Sunday the 17th, there will be a meditation course. It's the 7-day meditation course, Reviving the Higher Self. And the timing is 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's in person, but you also have the options to connect on Zoom. So those are the things happening at the center at this time. And Sister Rona will be with you now. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to this Thursday session, ongoing Thursday sessions. And tonight is the paradox of power. Actually, this whole month we wanted to highlight and explore a little bit this concept of power. And we all actually more and more beginning to realize that power is not about position or possession or money. Those are not the things that create real power. Because everybody knows actually that a dictator doesn't really have, nobody really loves him, no matter what he promises him or her. A bully, does a bully have power? At the most, they may have some physical power and some shouting power. And the power to impress or make others scared. But is what is power? Is power based on your weapons, on your ability to overscream somebody else? And somehow we have grown into this belief that that is what is power. Somebody has a position, somebody has some fame, but real power actually is when you give it, not when you take something. Real power is when you give respect. Then you can win the heart of someone else. Real power is when you trust, when you give, what is it? When you give responsibility, when you give trust, when you give authority, then you win the heart. And then cooperation, you win trust, you win loyalty. That is a different kind of power, what we're talking about. And so maybe it is useful to explore that power, that type of power. Now, and we'll go to the board to explore a little bit more this understanding of power. And those on Zoom see the board. Those in person
Yes.
have no problem.
Perfect. Thank you.
First of all, this word power. How would you when does one need power or when does one use power? What do you think about when you hear this word power?
Strength.
Yeah, of course. And this is not a
Yeah.
rhetorical question.
Power on our own mind, own body, now.
When there is internal power, when we have power on the self.
That's better. Yeah. No, it's better.
Anyone else?
To have authority.
To have authority. Any other ideas? When do you need power? That was the question. When do you use power? Sarah is saying trust and faith. When is it that we need power? When is it when we use power? Even physically, just think of it as a physical thing. Say I want to use my muscle power. So when do I use muscle power? When I want to achieve something, please come. Yeah, that's okay. we use power, we need power, we use power when we want to overcome a resistance. When you want to move something that is, how to say, but you need some energy to use. For example, if you want to move this chair from here to there, you need to use physical strength to lift the chair, to move it, to put it somewhere else. And so we use power, we need power when we need to overcome a certain resistance. When you need to shift something, when you need to change something, that is when we use physical power also. Now, power is in present day world used with the context to change someone else or to dominate someone else or to change something external, to change external situations, to try and change others, to try and convince others, to try and motivate others, to try and make them do things that I want, that I think is useful. This is how in today's world, I don't know why this camera is.
Now better. Just
Yeah,
keep it there.
yeah, but this is not the right way.
Perfect.
Need to exert some power on this thing. And so this whole concept of power in today's world is very externally oriented. It is very much things around are not how I want them to be. So I want to use force, I want to use power to change them into how I want them to be. And those people who can do that, those people who can make other people do that, do what they want, they are seen as powerful. Huh? Like big countries, for example. Now, in this concept, actually, what we're doing is we are supporting the idea of bully. Because that is actually what a bully does. No? Just make somebody else feel small, make somebody else feel weak, make some by over screaming, by exerting. And so that is a distorted idea of power. Now, in the spiritual context, the approach is very different to power. And we'll give a few examples. But before we go there, just a little bit of context setting and revising some of the basics. In in daily life, we use this word human being. And with human being, we describe ourselves, I hope. You don't describe yourself as a not human being. Maybe that would be a good idea if you are truly spiritual and begin to see yourself as a spiritual being instead of a human being. But this is generally how we see each other, how we define or at least understand ourselves as human beings. But very few of us truly understand the meaning of this word. What truly is this? What is human being? And one way to describe is the human part. I don't know how to draw, no? So Forgive me my lack of Picasso skills. This is the body. The bodily a personality with certain characteristics and things around other people, a certain country, a certain education, a certain culture. This is the human part. But the one who is experiencing everything, and I'm drawing in the center of the forehead, but just above to illustrate, is the invisible being, the one who is experiencing, the one who is creating thoughts, the one who is having certain ideas and certain feelings, maybe certain imagination, certain desires. The being of consciousness, the invisible presence, the life force, the one who is giving life to this body. Human being that operates this body. Now, very often, in this context of the paradox of power, we think power is to own or to have or to be able to shift and change things around at this level. Now, to get hold of a lot of dollars. And then we think, oh, it creates a certain illusionary sense of power, having a lot of money, because we think we can do a lot of things, and you can. With money, there are certain things that you can do. But there are also certain things that you cannot do with money. You know what you cannot do with money? Somebody's sick, ill, you cannot prevent people from dying, no matter how much money you pay. You can maybe buy a year longer or 2 years longer. You can pay for some medication or some special treatment or whatever, and you extend it 1 or year, but you cannot prevent the death of the physical body. Cannot be prevented with dollars. What else can you not do? You cannot buy love. You cannot buy happiness. You can buy to some extent, you can buy physical comforts, yes, but you cannot truly buy happiness. You know what is interesting? One other paradox is the most rich, what is it? People on the Forbes list of richest people in the world, they're on antidepressants and sleep medication. So that all that wealth did not make them sleep better. And one way to understand sleep is sleep can also be a form of wealth. Good sleep is a form of wealth. How many of you have that wealth? No, it is, so are we powerful because we have a lot of money? Or are we in another way powerful because we can quiet our mind and have our life in order that we can sleep peacefully and restfully? That is a different approach to power, but that is a power that works inside. That is a power over our own mind, a power over our own thoughts, a power over our own actions. That is a very different way to approach power. So to simplify it, there is like an external kingdom, the body and others around, and your job situation. That is like your kingdom. But there is also an inner kingdom. And your inner kingdom is your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, your tendencies, your character traits. Your eyes are part of your kingdom. Your mouth is part of your kingdom. Your ears are part of your kingdom. Now, is your mouth doing what you want? Or does it sometimes say things that, that you don't want? Or is your tongue your boss? Do you sometimes put things in the mouth that actually would be better not to put in the mouth? So are you master? Do you have power over your tongue? Is every word that comes out a jewel and a flower? Or are you sometimes throwing stones with the mouth? Are your eyes seeing defects all the time? Are your eyes all the time looking for criticism? Are your eyes always looking for threats? Or are the eyes fearful? Or are your eyes emitting peace and feelings of love and appreciation? So is this king, boss, here in this kingdom? And from the spiritual perspective, that is true power. We cannot necessarily change or impose or control external situations. And we definitely cannot control other people. Have you tried? All of us probably have tried. We can't control them, but what we can control is the way we respond to those situations. What we can control is the way we think about situations. What we can control is to create such thoughts that I am not stressed out or perturbed, even though a situation may be chaotic. Me getting perturbed, me getting stressed, me getting angry, who benefits from that? Nobody. Just torturing myself, getting high blood pressure and coming at the verge of a heart attack. So what is the power in that? And what is the sense in that? There is no sense. But this kind of requires a certain revolution in our thinking. Instead of being a master over others, instead of wanting to rule and govern and impose and control and direct others, let me try and rule myself, my inner world, my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own responses. And if they are more, more eloquent, I can win the heart and I can win the cooperation and I can win the love. Yeah, from others. I can win their heart. I can win their cooperation without having to bully them or force them or hurt myself and hurt them in the process. Yeah. And this is a very different approach to life, a very different approach to our journey. But it is, I think, in the long run, the only way. Has anyone ever benefited from war? War. Maybe in a selfish way, they make money, but truly benefit. Because what we sow is hate. Now, what is the consequence of hate? A world where nobody can, yeah, It disrupts people's life. It takes away their family. Yeah. Yeah. No, and the hate. So even if you win the war, yeah, yeah, hate. Nobody loves you. Nobody cooperates with you out of love. They may do what you want out of fear, but moment they can, they will stab you in the back. Moment they can, they will destroy you. What power is that? That is not power, that is madness. But that is the world we are living in. That is the world. So it is an indication of the depth of our ignorance. It is an indication of how low humanity has sunk on the scale of their humanity. But we cannot blame anyone. Because the first kingdom that we need to start ruling again is our own. And so the map, the framework to start reflecting on and to start experimenting with for ourselves is this. And begin to understand that your kingdom, so you are the king in your kingdom. The mind is part of your kingdom. And your mind is that function within where thoughts are created, where feelings emerge, where attitude is formed, where vision is held. You have a certain vision towards self, towards others. That happens in the mind. There are some other functions, but these are like the main things happening in the mind. Now, what is the quality? What is the condition of your mind? How many thoughts you have? A simple way to check the quality of your mind. How many thoughts do you have in a day? And how many of those thoughts are thoughts of peace? So, how peaceful is your inner kingdom? Or is it a whirlwind of thoughts all the time? And that also, is it a whirlwind of useless thoughts? Of repetitive thoughts, same thoughts again and again and again. I hate my boss. I hate my boss. I hate my boss. I wish my boss was placed somewhere else. I hate my boss. And we can think like that forever. We even sleep, boss faces is what is molesting our sleep. It's okay to hate your boss. It's normal to hate your boss. Yeah. This society, different culture. Yeah. Yeah. But what is useful to realize, if I hate whoever I hate, whether my boss or whoever, who is experiencing hate? Who is experiencing? I am experiencing that hate. So I am polluting my own inner system. Boss may be aware or not aware. Boss may care or not care. But I am polluting my own inner system with the negative emotions of hate. So, is that power? If I can't even rule my own inner world and fill my own inner world with beautiful feelings, with beautiful thoughts, that is not power, that is weakness actually. That is emptiness. That is lack of wisdom. And it may have become normal, but whether it is normal or not, it's still not sensible. Whether it has become the norm to hate the boss, it still doesn't create a pleasant environment for me to be in and a pleasant mind. Whatever, but I can check myself, because we can say the younger generation, but from whom the younger generation learned. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So mind is part of your inner kingdom. And do you use the power? Do you use power and power of the mind to be a wise ruler in this kingdom? Another part of your inner kingdom is your intellect. And intellect is your discernment. Intellect is your perspective and your, what is the word? The wisdom with which you take decisions, your discernment, your knowledge and your outlook on things, your analyzing ability, the intellect, your framework, and how you see life and understand life, the intellect. So is the intellect filled with truth? Is the intellect filled with higher wisdom, a broader perspective on self and on life? Is the intellect aware of the invisible, the dimension? To see, for example, this image, human being, a wise intellect understands is not just the body, not just the things around the body, but the being operating the body. A limited intellect, for example, in the case of medicine and health. Limited intellect will treat the liver and bypass the person, maybe even the whole of the body, just focusing on the liver. That is limited intellect. A broad intellect, wise intellect, knows that the liver doesn't function on its own. It is part of a bigger system. And even the body itself is not an entity on its own. There is one who is using the body. And so, broader, wiser, broader perspective, the intellect, better the king can rule. Can you bring a mic? No, the people on Zoom can't hear. Yeah, but even if there are specialists who only treat the liver, they have a trajectory of studying the whole body. They have a trajectory of, and even if they are at this moment only treating the liver, they need to be part of a team of people who hold the broader perspective. But of course, we have people who actually only focus on the liver and think that that's it. That is very limited intellect. They may have high IQ, but very limited intellect. Hmm? So, but you for yourself, what is the condition of your intellect? Are you able in every situation hold a bigger perspective? And bigger your perspective, broader your vision is, closer you are to truth, closer you are to justice. And there is also the subconscious. And in the subconscious, there are all kinds of memories and tendencies. Subconscious, yeah, subconscious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the subconscious, there are certain propensities, there are certain tendencies, certain character traits, certain memories. They are there. Are they molesting you? Or are they like terrorists in your in your inner kingdom? Something that happened 10 years ago comes into the mind and undermines again and again and again. Yeah, or a certain tendency to get angry, annoyed. You don't want to, but it just pulls out and destroys the relationship with your best friend. You say something nasty whilst you shouldn't. So the power to rule your kingdom, that is real power. And I also already mentioned the body is a kingdom in itself. Your eyes, your sense organs, and then of course your life. How do you manage this? And can you bring out the best? Is the existence to take, or is the existence to give? Are you a beggar or a taker, or are you a giver? One who empowers. And even beyond that, truly powerful people bring out the best in others through their own best. No matter where others are at. And we mentioned we will give some example. But before that, there are these two sides in us. No? That one side that is purely spiritual, aware of the self as a spiritual being. But that side has become very small. And then the other side is the ego, the vices, the identifying ourselves with the body, identifying ourselves with position or possession, and that acquired part from which we act in a negative way. Now, a simple way to say it, there is angel, little angel, and there's a little devil. And that little devil is sometimes not so little. But the little devil is acquired. Those are characteristics that over time we have just adopted. It is not innate. Coping, but just the whole aspect of spiritual ignorance and vices and body consciousness, limited materialistic consciousness. We innately are beings with angelic character. That is original, that is innate. But over time, we have lost that awareness. And we have started to get attached and identify with limited things. And our focus shifted to limited things. We become insecure. We start thinking we are mortals. We start thinking that we die. Soul never dies. And so that whole complex of spiritual ignorance has created a distorted personality. A personality that hates, personality that is anxious, feels insecure, is jealous, is fearful, is anxious, is arrogant, is greedy, is lustful, is what is the other? Lazy. That, yeah, acquired personality based on spiritual ignorance, that is dominant at the moment in society. And the angel is oppressed. The angel is suppressed, oppressed inside, but in everyone else also. Now, real power is to get this demon out. And real power is to nurture the angel in the self and in everyone else, regardless of the demon. So a simple example is somebody may be nasty to you. Somebody may be very nasty to you. You don't condemn. Because if truly inside you understand this is illness, spiritual illness, this needs medication, not condemnation. So you don't go along with it, but you nurture the angel. You don't become nasty yourself too, because that demon is triggering the demon in you. A sign of true power is that you can love even under provocation, and that love empowers the goodness in the other. If your peace is so powerful that it makes others emerge their peace, that would be a different kind of power, no? A different kind of world. But we can start with a different kind of inner world. Look like that. No, because we are so used to looking around and seeing defects. Well, people may do 100 things right and one thing wrong. What will you remember? That one thing wrong. So who is sick? We have too many expectations. But expectations come from inner emptiness. Expectation comes from not recognizing my own treasures and my own power and my own beauty. That is why I look out to try and get some acknowledgement. That is not power, that is begging. That is neediness. That is subservience. 99% of the world may be real, 99.99999%, that may be the case, but it doesn't make us healthy. It doesn't make us happy. It doesn't make us harmonious. Actually, it makes us inhumane. And no, we don't have to be spiritually enlightened to sustain that. We have to be dedicated to grow in this. And it is useful to have an environment that supports that. But that environment will not be your job or your home most of the time. That environment will be of like-minded. And that is why I personally appreciate a place like this center so much, because People who come here are people who at least wanting to get this demon out some way or another from here. Stop blaming, but start getting things in order here. And it happens, it starts with a process of education. We need to fill ourselves again with this different perspective on things. We need to expose ourselves to higher wisdom, strengthen the intellect, so that the intellect can tell this mind, look, all these cyclical, useless, wasteful thoughts, not helpful, not useful. Let me think of something else that is more useful. Can you read what somebody is putting questions or things in the chat? When you have a choice to be full of power and change others by force, why should you relinquish? No, I'm reading, it's okay. Why should you relinquish that and instead resort to spiritual power, like a detached observer? If you have the choice to be full of power and change others by force, I don't think we have that choice, because even the most powerful people in the world in that way, they cannot change others. I don't think that is our choice. We try to change others, and we may impose to some extent some force on others. But like I said, you turn your back and they stab you in the back. Finish. We don't change others. We can, at the most, use fear as a tool to make them behave in a certain way, comply, but only to the extent that you can manipulate them. Moment you can't, forget it, they're gone. And they don't really change because their heart doesn't cooperate with you. Heart doesn't love you. And what is the other? Somebody else responds, because that's a dark and lonely place. Yes, it is true.
So that is a dark and lonely place.
Yeah.
Who can see your message?
Yeah. So it is a different positioning, no? If you want to force someone to change, or you want to win their heart and inspire them to be the best they can be, through your not focusing on them, through the way you are. So the paradox of power is not when you exert it, but when you give. Not when you take things from people, but when you give them responsibility and authority. Then you win their trust. And in the long term, even their loyalty. But you're not even doing it for that. You're doing it just to bring out the best in you. Now, there is a saying, to be able to smile in the face of disaster is the sign of a powerful mind. No matter what external circumstances are, it doesn't perturb your inner world. You can respond with clarity. You can respond with peace. You can respond with wisdom. You can respond with love, regardless of what chaos is out there. And a sign of power is you can love your enemy and win them over with love. Have you tried? Kill them with love. But I mean, we talk about these things, and of course, it is useful to talk and reflect on these things. But this requires that we ourselves transcend our own limited thinking about ourselves. Because we ourselves have settled into the idea that we are weak, that we are mere mortals. Who said? The demon inside is telling you that. You are an angel. You innately have the potential to be angel. Now, there is this story that many of you have heard that I like to share. It's the story of an eagle's egg that got mixed with the chicken. And so this little eagle grows up believing he's a chicken. And that is his vision of his self, that is his conviction of his self, that is the feeling that he cannot fly, he's chicken, that he belongs with chicken, a bit awkward, a bit funny looking, but he believes, and his world is the world of a chicken. And he never tries to fly because he believes he can't fly. But he was that eagle's egg. This is our story. We are angels' eggs, children of God. What can we not do? But we have limited ourselves by these limited beliefs. But there is nothing that the human mind is limitless in its ability. In downward spiral, but also in upward spiral. And we have become so, what is the word, complacent, and so adjusted to the idea that we are weak. We are, there are these three things that we had to get out of the system. Beggar, victim, orphan, and slave. Mentality. No, I don't mean physical slavery, but this beggar mentality, this subservient mentality, this victim mentality, orphan mentality. This is the demon telling you, you are this. You are not this. True power is if we come out of this, how to call this? Chains, bondage, ignorance. Transcend this and tell this this demon, shoo, you don't know. Be quiet. More the demon becomes quiet, more he will disappear. Don't allow this package of this almost like what is it? Parasite that has grown into our consciousness tell you that you are chicken because you are eagle. And what does the eagle have to do to discover that he is eagle? Fly. Try your wings. Just try. Try and see yourself differently. I'm not a mere mortal. I'm a spiritual being with divine potential. I have right to be happy. I have power to be peaceful. But this will not happen just by one lecture. It's nice, and you may even have a good evening and a good day tomorrow, and reflecting on these things to feel light. But we need to nurture this on a regular basis through studies, through meditation. It needs to become a practice, an ongoing practice, an ongoing learning, an ongoing experimenting, a growing. Yeah. For me, it is a daily. I get up early morning to meditate and to study. Every day it is part of my routine because we live in a world that is opposite of this. We live in a world that tries to tell you, no, 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 you are victim. No, 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 you have to beg because you have nothing and you are no one. So we have to shift this, be pioneers in this. Begin to see true beauty, and this would be real power. To nurture the positive, to nurture the goodness in self and in others. In the face of adversity, that is even more powerful. Okay, well, this is an invitation for you to try your wings. But when first time you try, what will happen? You will flap a little bit, but then you will come back down. You will flap a little, but you need to grow muscles. Exercise your wings. That would be good. And exercise your wings you don't do by going to the gym once a month for 6 hours. It is a daily exercise. Okay. Anyone want to say any final thoughts here or on Zoom? So someone is saying kindly revise in few minutes. No, it's okay. In essence, true power is not what you exert over others, but true power is emerging the greatness and the goodness and the beauty of who you are as a spiritual being. Restore security in the inner kingdom and get this enemy out. Okay. Anyone on Zoom? Varsha? I'm saying Varsha because she's the only one in camera.
Yeah.
Hope there are others too. There are many on Zoom, but okay, very
Ah,
good.
very good. No, it is very good. So no question.
The paradox of power. We should tell our leaders, no? No, we should tell ourselves. Okay, let's close with some moments. And a simple way to understand meditation is the process of using consciously this unlimited intellect, this broad perspective, and realize that the real self is this invisible, godlike being of consciousness, soul. And to use this intellect to understand that there is the physical, visible dimension, but there is also that invisible, silent dimension. The real self is this being of light, a timeless, immortal, innately powerful being. But we waste our power by useless thinking and negative feelings. We waste our power, we waste our energy. And then think we are empty and needy and victims. Now wake up. The real self is not a chicken, but an eagle. But we need to nurture this awareness. Remind ourselves repeatedly that we are living lights, guests in this body, visiting this planet. Timeless, pure, peaceful, free. Souls. Thank you. Have a good evening. And like we said at the beginning of the talk, this Monday there is a course starting, 7 days meditation course, reviving the higher self. All are invited in person. There is also an option to join on Zoom. And every Thursday, of course, we have this talk, but also Saturday the 16th, we have a special program, which is a Saturday in the afternoon from 4 to 6, I think. It is Shivratri, and we will have a special guest, Kala Iyengar. She is the director of the retreat center upstate. She will be with us to be for that program. And there are flyers on the desk, and you are most welcome to bring